Okay. Okay, and there we go. We have Manu jumping in. Hello, Manu. Thank you very much for joining us. I know you've been waiting on the stream. It means a lot. I am going to post that link for everybody. So thank you so much for joining us. I was fixing my settings, but I am trying a different stream setup today because it's a beautiful day. We have the window here, and you guys don't get to see a ton what our workspace kind of looks like. So I wanted to show that off a little bit. But today I wanted to talk about strategy, talk about what we've been doing, how we're growing, and the way that we're updating ourselves. Because a lot of the stuff that we've been doing over the last, 4 or 5 months when I've been busy with school has been primarily off camera. I've been making a lot of moves, been planning a lot of things. And so I want to talk to you guys who are developing your own micronations, whether you're the leader of a micronation or you started a new micronation, or whether you are somebody who is a part of a micronation who's trying to develop, or whether you're just interested in how a micronation does that for your own interest. I want to talk about our perspective on it, what we've been doing from the place that we started at in this past year to where we are now. But real quick, we have some comments already that are jumping in. Let me go ahead and grab that link for everybody so that we can get this party started, and I will be jumping back in with you all. Let me grab that link. Oh, God. Well, I hear it in my headphones instantly whenever I look at the video. So let me throw this in Discord for everybody. At here. Boop. Send now. Yep, there we go. Nice. Okay, so one of the big things that I want to cover. We have been in talks with a couple different micronations about trade. Now, we haven't had an official alliance in a while. Our first and only official alliance was with the People's Republic of Parkistopia, and they are now, from what I understand, active again, but we haven't been able to have too much communication with them, too much development, although I hope that things will be in the works with them very soon. As of right now, the two nations that we have been talking to and working with are the Empire of Aeternia, which is based out of the UK, which you guys might have seen their video talking about our relations and some of the stuff that we've been up to. And in addition, we have been talking to the Kingdom of Arcovia, which has been a very fruitful endeavor as well, and that I'm excited to drop some new stuff on very soon. Both of those I haven't been wanting to discuss in great detail. One, because they're still actively in talks, meaning things have not been fully ratified, things have not been fully figured out, and we are trying to plan not just for one event, but also for, the next coming weeks, months, and years of our nation's development. So that's something that you really don't want to jump the gun on. You really don't want to put things out and then have to backtrack and say, oh, well, this changed and that changed, because you want to make sure that you're in line with your partners and what you're trying to do. So, that being the case, we are still in talks with them, we are developing with them, and I am super excited about that personally. With our development of our P.O. Box in this past year, having an official place of correspondence for the world to reach out to the Empire of Aeternia, that has been a huge stepping stone for what is leading up to now. Those are small details that a lot of people, when thinking about developing your own country and having this huge, grand, expansive empire, you don't think about those nitty gritty details like having a P.O. box, having some place that people can send you mail that isn't going to be your personal address. Now, if your micronation has land already and it's developed to such an extent that you aren't worried about, the location of what you're doing being directly pinpointed, then that's perfectly fine. You can, have things addressed to yourself. But for our purposes and the way that we're going about things, the way that we've incorporated our business entities through the Empire of Aeternia in the U.S., it has been a huge strategic advantage for us to have a P.O. box, and now we're getting to use that not only just for correspondence with you guys, not only for sending things out through our Imperial Market and through the different prizes and awards that we've given out, but also just for trade with other nations, which has been crazy. The other big thing that we have been working on, one of the other big things, is we've been developing our forge. That's something that has been in talks with both different nations that we've been dealing with right now. And it's something that I am very excited about, because as we develop more and we get more interest in our refined metals, we are able to expand what we're doing. We're already getting an improved setup out there, which I'm actually excited to do some stuff with today. So our forge is increasing and growing and expanding. We're able to not only produce more complex things. As you guys might have seen the other day, we accidentally produced our first alloy, which I actually may have some stuff to show you guys here on in a minute. But that development has been really, really cool. We're not only able to make more complex metals like that alloy, and even higher temperature metals like copper and steel, but we are also able to produce at a higher volume. Right now, that's one of the biggest things that we've been looking at strategically for our economic side of things, is we are able to produce, for example, copper ingots, but those take a good amount of time for us to produce and to refine and to get to where we want them, because they're a high temperature metal. But our aluminum ingots, we are able to produce very, very quickly now. So we can, stamp out a good few ingots in an hour or two. So that's the idea now, is that we have this small setup that we are making larger, everything developing economically for us and strategically with our trade. But now we are starting to look into the community as well. That's something I want to get to real quick. I just want to check the comments because I know everybody's been hanging out. Manu says hi. Prakal says hi. It's good to see you. Prakal, you jumped in immediately as well, so I wanted to recognize that. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, Prakal says, sorry for missing your streams. That's all right. I completely understand. Everybody has different schedules, and even I don't give a ton of heads up when I stream, so you've been commenting on some of our stuff recently as well, so thank you. Prakal says, we can't hear you. And then said, Prakal just printed PERS. That's awesome. Is that your currency? Edwin says, hello, AP. It's good to see you, Edwin Portillo. How are you? And how is your nation? Right now, one of the biggest things that we have been trying to do as an empire has been trying to reach out to our local community. And that's something that takes sometimes a good bit of time for a micronation, because you really want to make sure that when you're reaching out to people, you know what it is you're doing and why it is you're doing it. And even though that seems like a basic step, a lot of people are like, you name your country, you get a flag, you put up, your information online, and then that's it. Everybody knows what your micronation is, everybody knows what you're all about. But as you continue on in micronationalism, as you develop more and more what it is that your nation is and what it's doing, you will be refining that wording a lot, and you will be trying to really hone in on the politics of your micronation. You will be honing in on the economic direction of your micronation. There will be a lot that you are trying to get into. So it's generally unwise to right away go and start advocating in your community, simply because there will be a lot of questions that you may not be able to answer right away. And more importantly than that, you want to make sure that you answer those questions in a way that is valuable to you, that will continue to represent your beliefs into the future, because it's even worse for a micronation to really go out and advertise themselves one way and then have to completely restructure. And nations do that a lot. You'll see that in a smaller scale in the micronational community, with people doing things like setting up a nation and then changing their government style, and then changing the way that their government runs, and then changing the symbols like their flag or their anthem. None of those things are bad to do, but you should be in a more refined, more stable place when you start to advertise yourself to the people in your community, because that's how they will recognize you, is from the thing that you originally advertised to them as. So if you change everything, while that may be something that us in the micronational community are more used to seeing, is nations changing themselves, people will think you're a different thing. People will feel like you no longer represent the same things, because you may not anymore if you change, for example, your government type, or even the name of your nation. So those are big things to consider, and we have been always trying to very carefully approach the subject ourselves, because it is such a um, such a large task. Now, we have been making progress in that. One of the things that I personally have been really excited about is we have been trying to develop our own game. Now, we, for a long time, you guys may have seen the things in our Discord about the Aeternian Gaming Network and stuff like that, or something like that. We always played games on the channel, video games, and there was a community of people in our Discord who were really excited about making their own games and programming. And so we had some people kind of trying to develop stuff for us on Roblox, and we had people trying to develop things for in a few different avenues for us. And that was just kind of an independent project that they put on themselves. But I was super excited to see that. I think there was some progress made. I'm not sure how development has continued. Like I said, it's something that I'm not directly attached to, but it has been really cool to see. And in addition to that inspiring me myself, and I have worked on things in the background for a while that I hope will come out pretty soon. um, I have been trying to ramp up the process and put to the front of our efforts, trying to make a cultural game for the Empire of Aeternia. And I'm going to make a whole separate video about that coming up. But the idea being that I want to create something that can be played like a video game or a board game. I want to make something that's like a group activity game, that's a cultural game for the Empire of Aeternia that people can play together. And I think I have an idea of where I want to go with that. I have started to set things up. Tiffany and I have been talking about getting supplies for it and getting things ready for it. And I hope to debut that soon. So that's going to be one of the first ways that we're trying to actively engage our local community, is by getting out there, showing people the game, having game nights essentially, where we invite people out to come and play our game, and we'll give away awards for that. So hopefully we'll get to film one or two of those and can show you that. And in addition, maybe that'll give us more ideas for games. If you guys have ideas for games that we can incorporate, please let me know. That's going to be one of the things that I think we do when we invite people to these game nights, is say, hey, playing, you have fun. Let us know if you want to create a game and add it to the Aeternian lexicon. That's something that I think will be really, really cool about it. Is if we can get momentum built on that, we can have people come in and play their own games and share their games with the other people and win prizes for that and connect with our community. Hopefully that will lead to more direct engagement and more excitement and participation in the Empire of Aeternia from people who live here, from people who are really close to us. Actively trying to develop these things, they just sometimes take a really long time to get done. And so a big part of Aeternian development and our progress has been behind the scenes. And so now I'm trying to show you guys more of that, and I'm hoping to bring those out in fully fleshed out videos. But until then, I like doing these update streams, and it's something that I hope people are excited to participate in, because that's something that I talked about on another stream as well. I want to find a way to make these streams more engaging for the community. It's something important for the way that we've developed Aeternia. And it's something that I personally like to do, to be able to share with you guys what's happening. We'll make a cool video and we'll drop it, and it'll get a couple hundred views or something. But that will be a standalone video that people watch 5 minutes of content on. And then for those people who are just lightly in our community, that may be fine. They check in every once in a while, they see there's a few new videos on the channel, and they watch them. But for people who are actively engaged with us, for the people in our Discord who have been a part of the Micronational Risk Tournament and stuff like that, they really want active engagement. They really want to be able to know what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. And I want to bring that to you guys. So making this platform where we do these streams together, we talk face-to-face, and I can just vent and I can just explain what's happening without a filter, without needing to create a script for it, without trying to, do weeks of editing on a video. We can just go through this, and I hope that's enjoyable. I know there are people in the chat who really appreciate that, and I have appreciated seeing your faces here for the last couple years. This is something that's been built into the foundation of Aeternia now. So I want to find a way to continue this, and I also want to find a way to improve it for those people on the channel who may not be as interested in this to, feel inclined to become a part of it. So please let me know if there's any ideas that you have on how we can improve these streams. Right now we have 3 viewers. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Prakal says BRB. Esnia says hi. Hello, Esnia. How are you? Sabotat says, "You're very quiet. Is there a way to turn up the volume?" So I have turned up the volume all that I can on my mic. I don't know how I would increase it anymore. I see that, yeah, my audio input capture is as loud as it can go. Prakal says, "Hello, I'm back." Hey, it's good to see you, Prakal. And we have 4 viewers. Thank you, guys. Um, Sabotage says, "Also, I'm personally President TJ. Code Roblox game if you need help on anything." Oh, thank you. Uh, I appreciate it, President TJ. Yeah, I would love to learn how to code on Roblox. I know that's something that, like I said, previously some people in the community who knew how to do that were really excited about making games on Roblox, and so I would love to see that continue. We are personally creating some of our own stuff, so and I know there's some of our one of the nations that we've been talking to has been looking into that as well. So. I'm interested and excited to see what comes out from the community. It seems like there's a lot of excitement around it. Um, Edwin says, "Kingdom of Prakal, where are your colonies?" Arstoria says, "Or you can just remake Risk." That's true. You could always make like an Eternian version of Risk, and I feel like I want to do something like that, but I have also been excited about developing something unique. Eternia is a unique place. We have a lot of unique culture. We have a lot of unique content that we've developed over the years. And we've always just done things our way. We've always found something that works for us in a way that, is convenient for us. And we've turned that into an art. We've turned that into a, hub for our community. That's what happened with Risk. Everybody was doing micronational war stuff, and we said, we're not going to do micronational war stuff, but if you guys are interested in it, we will play a game to get people to hash out their feelings and to settle their disputes and to play a game of Risk together where they can battle it out to their heart's content and we can all come together as friends and micronationalists. And that's super cool. We're still going to continue those games. We're still developing those Risk tournaments. But as of right now, we want to do something that is Eternia. We want to do something that is unique to us and that nobody in the world can say that they have this game because it's ours and we developed it. Prakal says, "I'm going to do morning chores." Good luck with your morning chores. Sabotat says, "You're very quiet. Is there some way to raise the microphone volume?" Again, I've tried my best. I don't think there's a good way to. I have turned it up all the way that I can on my computer. We'll turn up the volume on my computer, but I don't think that actually helps anything. Let me see. Esnia says, "Doing good, but not really." I hope everything's okay. United Confederation of Silesia said, "The Risk tournament was very fun. Thank you for the opportunity to let us participate." Of course, and we want to do it again. Like I said, that's not a one-off. We are planning to do one actually not too far in the future. It just takes time for us. There's always a lot of planning that goes into a Risk tournament, and each time we've done it, it's gotten bigger and crazier. The first time we did it, it was just whoever wanted to join. The second time we did it, it was based around our prestige system, based around people who have sovereignty licenses and have connected as a part of our system. And that allowed us to actually have like brackets and to make awareness videos, advertisements, showing off these nations, having these nations represent their flags. And the community really came together to build something cool like the Olympics out of that. So the next one, we want to be even better and even cooler and get even more nations to participate and have it to be even more exciting an event, have the prize be an even bigger thing. So as we continue to develop this, it's going to get more and more hype. It's going to get crazier, but it takes time to be able to develop that and to get good at it. We don't have a committee doing all of this. We don't have, tens of people doing this. It's just me developing it. There have been people in the community, though, especially on this last one, who really put in. One of the advertisements that we made and dropped for the live stream for the Risk tournament was made by another nation. So it's very, very cool to see that being developed and to see the community come together in that way. So that will not be the last one, I assure you. Gary, the BMW guy, said once once you have the money to buy some cheap land somewhere to expand your territory and have fun on. Yeah, that's exactly the plan. Have you seen our website, BMW guy? Do you know much about the Empire of Eternia? Because we are a micronation. We are actively expanding, and we have a land purchase fund that we're actively developing. If you want to become a part of that, you can check out our Etsy. It's the Imperial Market. The link's in the description. You can also check out our website where you can see how much of our land purchase we have developed. We have $901, I believe, out of 10,000 right now. So we're almost a tenth of the way to our goal. We're 9% of the way to our goal, and we are actively trying to grow that number. Over the last year, that number has grown by like 5%. I think before that we were maybe at like probably more than 5%, like 6 or 7%. Yeah, because we were around us up significantly. And then over the course of this year and over the course of the last few months, when I've been busy with the school semester, we have seen people continuing to support us and continuing to help us grow. So there is absolutely a lot that we are doing to get our land purchase. There's also some stuff that we're going to be able to do before then, actually, that I'm excited to talk about and excited to drop for you guys. One that's going to help us to ramp up that land purchase funding really quickly, but also that's going to allow us to do some stuff and develop some stuff that we would normally need land to do. But opportunities await, and I will explain those in the future. For now, though, know that we are trying to do that, and it's a lot there for you to check out. Of course, we have our medals that you can purchase. And then as well, we have our Patreon. If you want to become a citizen, you can join that way. Or if you would like to become a foreign dignitary and represent your nation with the Empire of Aeternia, you can do that as well. So again, lots of stuff to do, lots of stuff to talk about, but the more that you guys watch these streams, hang out with us, the more that you guys help us to get monetization, which we're actively pushing for, and the more that you guys help us to purchase stuff through our online channels and support us, you are actively moving us one step closer to that land purchase. And once we have that land purchase, it's not just like, and then we're having fun on it. It's like an entire expanse on the concept of Eternia, because right now we already have industries. Right now we're already developing our business model. Right now we are already gearing up to purchase larger and larger things to expand our economy by multiples. But once we hit that land purchase, it becomes exponential. We are trying to do something which will allow us to have people live on land that we own. We are trying to develop industries that will be run day in and day out on that land that we own. So that will be an entirely new paradigm shift for the Empire of Aeternia. And I have been eagerly awaiting that day since day one. And every day that we exist feels one step closer to becoming a reality. And I can feel that momentum building. I know our community can too. So thank you guys so much for participating and helping us with that. And BMW guy, again, I encourage you to go and check that out and to learn more about us, because we have been on that exact journey you're describing for a good bit now. Kingdom of Percal says, I'm done with my morning chores. Hey, nice. I also had to do some morning chores today as well, a little bit before the stream. That's actually what made quite a bit of a stream delay today, but I got set up, got everything done, and just like you, now we're able to sit back, enjoy the day, and have some discussions about our micronations. Esnia says, we lost one of our provinces because they were going to build houses on it. Oh, that's crazy. I think you told me about that. You didn't tell me about it. I saw it on the Discord. You posted in our general. Thank you so much for posting that. Can you give us a little bit of update on that? Is it something that was just land that you had been able to use but didn't actually own? Did you have anything built on it that got destroyed? Like what's the severity of this situation for Esnia? Also, we have 6 viewers. I want to do 7 viewers now. I want to shout that out. Thank you guys so much. 7 viewers. Every minute that we are on makes 7 minutes of watch time. So you guys are helping us to shoot up that watch time. If we hang out for 30 minutes, that's 3.5 hours of watch time. So thank you guys so much. That is huge. We have to get like 200 or 300 viewers on a video normally to get like anywhere near that kind of watch time. So it means a ton. And this is why these live streams are so important. But Esnia, that's one of the cool things about our Discord is that people like Esnia can come on and describe things that are happening to their nation, and we can talk about them, and we can give advice, or we can even just show support and sympathy for what's happening. So I appreciate you for sharing that with our community, Esnia, helping make that better. I've also seen a lot of people showing off their banknotes, showing off a lot of stuff that they have developed. If any of you guys want to see all that you haven't been able to see already, please go and check out our Discord and hang out, because that's exactly what it's for. Developing our micronations and as well getting updates on the Empire of Aeternia. We've always said that first and foremost, that the Discord is a place for learning about the Empire of Aeternia, but people have made it a hub for the community, and every time I get on it and there are people talking and developing their micronations, it makes me really happy. Um, okay, so Percall says, what do you think about inflation and deflation? We are suffering deflation of 46%, meaning which means the value of the per is going up. That's awesome. I would say that it's difficult to gauge with micronational currencies, and that's something that kind of takes on a whole life of its own. I imagine that's kind of a video for another time to go fully in depth on. But to give you the short and sweet of it, it depends on what your currency is tacked to. The Empire of Aeternia's currency is pegged to the U.S. dollar, and right now it's something that can't even be exchanged. People purchase our currency, the Imperial Note, from our Etsy site, and then they can use that to show support for us, but they can't actually exchange it back to us for goods. Now that's something that we're actively working on developing because of our money transmitters license, which again we need to explain quickly in the future, whole new video. But for your currency, because it could be pegged to anything or nothing, that may very severely affect the way that your micronation's currency fluctuates. If your currency is just something that's fiat and just based on the value that you ascribe it to, if you print a lot of money, that will cause inflation. If you hold off on printing a lot of money, but people are actively using the money a lot for greater and greater things, then yeah, you will cause deflation. If you create 20 per, and then you define that to be worth your entire economy of 20 per to be worth some amount, and then 10 per get destroyed in a freak accident, if you still describe your economy as being valued at whatever it was originally valued at, but now you only have 10 per, you have doubled the value of the per, so long as you are the only one who controls what its defined value is. But again, that's I feel like a talk for another time, but I hope that helps, and I'm curious to see more about the per and how it changes in its value, because to have that large a fluctuation, like 50% almost, is really crazy. Good luck, and I wish you well. Then they redacted one. Gary the BMW guy says, I see, and thanks for answering. Of course, thank you. We always love to have people ask about our nation. It's something that we, like I said, have been doing for years and years, and we're trying to get this land purchase, but it has been a struggle. One of the things that we have always ascribed to is that we are developing this land purchase based on Aeternia itself, meaning that I don't have a ton of money to invest in like a land purchase personally for the Empire of Aeternia. If I did, if I had the money, I would have already purchased it and we would be hanging out there. But because I don't, the ideology that we've been going with is that I front the money for all of the resources that we need to keep everything up, to make sure everything's running, even the cost of the goods that we supply through our Etsy, through our Imperial Market. I cover the costs for all of that. And then every single bit of revenue that the Empire of Aeternia makes, anytime someone supports it by purchasing anything, by joining our Patreon, when we create trade deals with other nations, all of that value, all of that monetary value that we accrue goes directly into our land purchase. And that can be seen on that land purchase funding amount. That $900 something is all of the revenue that we have ever made, minus taxes that we've had to pay to the U.S. But other than that, no costs have been deducted from that. All of those costs I take on as a personal expense to me, and the rest of that is put directly into our land purchase funding. And So yeah, every time somebody supports us, even by watching a video, even by asking a question like you did, BMW guy, it means a lot. So thank you. And I hope you help us to take that next step on our journey and can follow along. Aristoria says, my country is hell. Ooh, what happened, Aristoria? Aristoria says, also, two of our citizens got infected with COVID. Uh-oh. Well, I certainly wish them a quick recovery. That's very scary. I have had people in my own life who have contracted COVID. I've had friends, family members, and stuff that have gotten it. I fortunately didn't get COVID. I would have let you guys know if I did. But I had a scare not too long ago. I got like a seasonal cold with the weather changing really drastically in Eternia, and I had to stay out of school for like a week. I was just in bed. I got a flu test, I got a strep test, and I got a COVID test, and they all came back negative. But it was crazy. I had to go to the ER over it, and it was something that was pretty jarring for me. So no matter what, no matter if you've gotten your booster shots, no matter if you've gotten your vaccine, wear a mask, be safe, be courteous to others out in public, and still remember that there are people struggling with this. We're getting over this disease more and more as a world community, as a national community, and as a micronational community. But even still, make sure to do your diligence to help stomp that out even more. The more safe that you are, the more precautions that you take, the more that you are extra careful, that maybe one person, even if it's just one person that you save from having to suffer through that disease, it is 1,000,000% worth it, I assure you. So thank you for doing your part, and I am so sorry to hear that people in Aristoria have gotten sick. I wish a speedy recovery to them, and I think I speak for the entire micronational community when I say we support you. Please, please be careful. Please heal quickly, and we are thinking of you. We have 8 viewers. Thank you guys very much. If you guys can remember, please like the video. It helps a lot, and it helps to get more people in the stream actively. Like when there are people actively liking in the live stream, it encourages YouTube to promote it, which means more people come in. Okay. Esnia says, we had planned to build a farm so that we can produce lemons, oranges, and etc., but we had to build a small hutch which has all the seeds and water. That's cool. So you had already built this hutch. You were like, we have a full-scale agricultural operation going. But we started with a small hut, and it got bulldozed? Like, what happened? Did they say, all right, you have to pack up your stuff? Did nobody tell you and they just bulldozed over it? Like, what is the extreme that this happened? Did you build the hut on your own land and then you would plan to expand your agriculture out to that land and it just happened to get taken over? Let us know. I'm really curious about that. Mantis Shadow says, Emperor, does Eternia recognize fantasy country, and do you realistically see Eternia being recognized by at least one widely recognized country? Those are great questions. So, Eternia, our stance on micronationalism is that we defined our own existence. Similar connection to our Constitution. We don't have a Declaration of Independence or a Constitution. We have a Guide of Foundation and Principles. And when we're asked about that, we always respond with, we don't need to declare our independence. We are independent. We know that we're independent, and we defined that for ourselves. So we respect any nation that claims to be a nation. We will recognize you to that extent. We see what you are doing. Now, does that mean that we will support every micronation that exists? No. There are ones that we are ideologically opposed to. Will we always believe that those nations are doing the same things that we are doing in striving to become nations? No, because everybody has different goals and agendas. That's not the point of it. If you create a nation, and that nation you ascribe to be fantasy, you are just doing it for fun and enjoyment, and you never sincerely plan to develop a nation with that, that's fine. We will recognize that nation because you call it a nation, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be much practical development because it's not what you're interested in. So we will recognize it to the extent that it exists. We will see what you're doing. We will observe. And we will appreciate that because there are fantasy nations that can still be incredible gifts to the community, who make beautiful artwork, who make lots of contributions to philosophical concepts in the community, governmental forms to the community, languages even. There are people who are incredible talents who create fantasy nations. We recognize those nations. We respect those nations. We just don't engage in with those nations in the same way that we would with others because they don't have the same goals as us. And that's perfectly okay. There exists plenty of space in the micronational community for our goals and their goals to exist. In addition to that, I would say that we recognize those nations. Those nations have their own developmental paths, but the second part of your question, do we think that we will be recognized by one widely recognized nation? I would say yes. The Empire of Aeternia continues to exist as a foundational structure for what we've built in our community. I started the Empire of Aeternia by just saying to myself one day, I'm starting this, I'm developing this, I'm designing this, here's how it's going. And then I, years later, like a year or two later, actually started developing things with it. When I first developed it, I created an Instagram channel. People actually don't know that the Instagram came before the YouTube, but it did. We developed our Instagram channel. You can actually go back and see very, very old Instagram posts that we created when I started the nation at the end of my high school career. Once I got into college, I ended up joining YouTube and becoming a part of this, thanks to my friend. And, it's all ancient history. But we have always been moving forward toward that goal of recognition. That has been one of our foundations. That has been one of the ideas that we have had to strive for because we want our people to be truly independent. We believe in our own right to self-preserve, and we believe in our right to expand as a nation. That being the case, we need other nations to recognize us for us to get to a certain level of expansion. So, even though it may not happen in my lifetime, the Empire of Aeternia will eventually be recognized by other nations because we're going to continue to grow. We already have businesses that have been established and registered in the state of Alabama. We are already actively trying to develop within our local community. We are already making ties to other micronations around the world, and we have connected to other micronations globally through our internet connection, our internet presence. We are already recognized by a percentage of the world's population. It's a small percentage, but it's a percentage. There are people in many countries across this earth who know of the Empire of Aeternia, and that's the first step. We are already creating a wealth supply to fund continual growth in operations. So as long as there is someone to take over after I die, I am certain that we will achieve that because we just have to continue to grow. We have to continue to stay the course and invest in our people, support our ultimate goal, and we will get there. That is the motto of the Empire of Aeternia. Richard Taylor, one of our aristocrats, came up with Aeternia Forever, and that is a staple of our community, meaning that we are defining Aeternia. We are Aeternia, and we will continue that forever. The Aeternian flag is the arrow of progress. That's our symbol there. Right there is the arrow of progress, and that is exactly what it defines, is our perseverance and progress, our way of continuing to strive for our goals no matter the odds, and knowing that we will be assured victory, that we will progress in those goals one step at a time, one push at a time until we get there. So yes, we will be recognized by other nations. We hope we will be recognized by every single nation across this earth, and that we will be able to expand far beyond the earth. That is the dream of, I think, most all nations and all people around the world at this moment. And we will continue just like every other nation. So we already identify ourselves as equal among other nations. We are only waiting for them to realize the same thing. A lot more comments. Aristoria says, "Oh, nice. I'm building a farm out of hell." Aristoria, there's a lot of hell going on in your nation. I hope everything's okay. Also, again, please send my send my best wishes and quick recovery to those affected by COVID in Aestoria. 13 viewers. Jesus Christ. Please like the video, everybody. That helps so much. Thank you. Thank you guys for participating. Wow, we have a big bunch today. Francisco Bamond Franco says, greetings, El Presidente of Republica Yara here. Hello, El Presidente, it's good to see you. I believe we spoke on Discord. I hope you're doing well, and I am excited to see you participating in one of our streams. How is Yara? How have you developed? And as well, tell us more about your nation. Where is it located in the world? How long have you been developing? And what are your goals right now? Aristoria says, I got COVID test the other day. I got negative. Hey, I'm glad to hear that. The leader of Aristoria has gotten a negative COVID test. Do you feel you'll be able to help those who have been affected? What do you think your nation's policy will be now that it has been affected so greatly by this disease? The Kingdom of Percal says, we are starting a small farm. It's growing fast. Hey, congratulations, Percal. Please send us pictures. I would love to see it. Aradelk retracted. It's good to see you, Ari. Esnia retracted. Ari says, I just got done eating. Hey, congrats. That's very cool. I actually need to go get some lunch here in a little bit. I'm waiting on a friend. Actually, I probably need to go here in not too long because I imagine that friend will be showing up any minute. But I am super, super hyped because we are going to be doing some forging. This is going to be the first time that I actually go about teaching somebody how to do metal melting and forging. So that's going to be really, really cool. But I can't wait. Esnia says, it just got taken over, so the hut is in ruins now. Ari, what do you recommend I eat? What did you eat today? What do you recommend I have? I'm curious if it's something that I can go and get. Percall says, if you want to see my purrs, I sent you it on Discord. Hey, thank you very much. Empire of Truto says, hello, Truto, it's good to see you. Have you had a change of government? Aristoria says, also, Aristoria is starting to recover from our civil war, and we are making our own market/program. It's called the Stokorian program, and it makes guns for hunting and guarding. Oh, goodness. That sounds intense. What are the licensing requirements around where you live for, the manufacturing of firearms and stuff like that? Do you feel like manufacturing your own firearms will come with a large cost to your nation? Are there large upstart costs? I imagine if you don't have the equipment already, it's probably quite expensive. But if you already do, if you have family members or friends, that could potentially shave off a lot of that. But even still, I'm curious as to if regulations will get in your way. I'm curious to know how safe you feel that is for marketing. Of course, there's a large market for gun ownership, especially if you live in the U.S. But do you feel like you will be able to safely regulate your guns and make sure that they get into the right hands of people who are going to use them appropriately? Do you feel like you're going to specify marketing toward hunters or for people who are looking for like home defense? How do you plan on developing? Ari says, at Aeternia, why I think you won't get recognized is because you don't even have a Declaration of Independence. Ari, I get what you're saying. I hear you 100%. And I would say that the reason I disagree with you is simply because at a certain point it doesn't matter. For example, the Declaration of Independence that the United States had. The United States declared independence and wrote it and sent it to England. And the English reacted to that, but also didn't. The thing that the English really reacted to was the lack of taxes being paid, which was already an issue before they had declared independence. They were worried about the lack of value that they were going to be getting from their colonies at that point. And so even though the United States had declared independence, even though many countries around the world have declared independence before, it is not until they start acting as an independent nation and start developing themselves that other nations really start to recognize that. And if you do that in a way that's very provocative, you will evoke a negative response. So that's not our attempt. We're not declaring war on anybody. We are not trying to go and march out in the streets and, do anything that's incredibly provocative. We are trying to make money to allow our people to develop more independently. We are trying to get to a point where our established territories are recognized as communities in and of themselves and are already well developed within the United States and many other countries around the world. At a certain point, our share of an economic marketplace becomes so great that it cannot be ignored without severe repercussions. At a certain point, for example, Google. Google is one of the most powerful companies in the world. They control a lot of the internet marketplace. Imagine if all of a sudden, if you didn't agree with one of Google's ideas or you didn't recognize Google as a company, that you couldn't access YouTube, that you couldn't access Google, that you couldn't access all of the different subsidiary companies and different even internet connection ports, different server farms and things like that Google owns, that you have to run your computer service through, that you have to run your internet connection through. Any encryption that you create, may go through Google servers. All of those things are controlled and managed by Google. So if Google wanted to, they could pick and choose who had access to that, and they could cause large-scale problems for a lot of people. That's similar to the Empire of Aeternia strategy. We are not trying to go out and provoke people. We are trying to make such incredible value for ourselves internally that people are actively standing in line waiting to recognize Aeternia so that they can get a part of that value, that it is just an understood basis for our existence, that you recognize us and we deal with you and we trade with you and we interact with you, and if you don't, then we won't. But that becomes harder and harder to do the larger and more powerful that we are. So we are taking steps in that direction, and we will be recognized one day. So I hope one day when we are recognized, you say, oh, I have to eat my words now because, they did it. And I hope that happens in your lifetime, and I hope it happens in mine. But if it doesn't, know that at very least, we will be continuing. I may not see it, but we will be continuing, and we'll get there one day. I am certain of it. The Kingdom of Prakal says, Prakal recognizes you. Hey, thank you. And that's the other thing. Again, we have a certain percentage of the world that already does recognize us. Again, that's a small percentage, but every year that percentage grows. Every time we make a bigger move economically, that becomes a more intense impact that we have. And we have a, I think, significant impact on the micronational community as well. So anytime the micronational community grows, our influence and our impact and the value of that impact increases as well. So I think we're on a significantly reasonable road to accomplishing that, if anyone is. Esnia says, ooh, hold up, there's a lot of people jumping in. Oh goodness, we have 11 viewers. Thank you guys for hanging out. I see everybody in the comments too. If I haven't responded to your comment yet, just know I'm going through them pretty slowly. Okay. Prakal says, Prakal recognized you. Esnia says, well, I was at a friend's house, and when I got back, I saw a bulldozer clearing land, and I saw the bulldozer lift the hut and toss it over, and it broke. Oh, no. You should have filmed it. You should have filmed, like, Esnia destroyed, Esnia in chaos. I would have loved that video. That sucks. I'm sorry, sincerely. That it sucks to have put so much time and effort into something only to see it taken away from you. But the good news is, you know that you can build that structure. So you know you can build another one. And more importantly than that, they made an impact on your nation. That change in the landscape of where you live affected your nation. And that wouldn't happen if your nation wasn't valuable. So in and of itself, your nation created value and then lost some of it, but proved in the process that it can create value which impacts its community. So you're on your way. Congratulations. That it's a rough thing to have to deal with, those losses, but it's an important milestone. So it's cool that you've been able to do that. A year ago or 2 years ago, would you have been able to say that, oh, my land had a dispute with a major nation because they destroyed part of our property, they destroyed part of our agricultural endeavors? I believe that's a step in the right direction, Esnia. Empire of Truto says, wait, at Esnia official, somebody broke your micronation. Prakal says, we have a few businesses. Ooh. Ari says, at Esnia, was it your land, like, legally? I don't think that's the case, Ari. I think what they're referring to is that they may have owned some land that was a joint to some other land. And that, or somebody that they know owns some land, and they may have had permission to build on it, or maybe they just did go and build on it because it was unused at the time, and then whenever somebody started actually developing it, they destroyed their hut that they built. But still, even if it wasn't their land, if they didn't claim the land or whatever, it's still progress, I suppose. Again, I wouldn't say that that's their claimed land because they didn't legally own it, but it's an interesting development nonetheless. Truto says, rip. Kyle27 says, hi. Hey, 27 Kyle. Good to see you. Percall says, hey, very cool. Okay, so Public of Garmaxia, when Elon Musk takes us to Mars, I'm claiming land there, and you should too. Very cool. I wouldn't claim land that I don't have people on, so if I personally go to Mars, or if somebody from the Empire of Aeternia goes to Mars, then yes, we will claim land there. But if we're not, if we don't have the ability to do so, then we won't. We will only claim land that we can realistically establish and develop. But I would love for us to have land on Mars, and we will absolutely attempt to accomplish that as one of our long-term goals. Truto says, a long time ago, all of our progress burned down. Uh-oh, Truto, no. Esnia says, well, no one owned it, so I took it, so yes, legally. That's not how that works. No, I get what you're saying, and you can use the land, but you can't say you're using it legally then. You were using it personally. You weren't legally. Ari says, at Esnia, officially the land might be owned by the city or county. Do your research before you use it. Republic of North America, retract it. Empire of Truto says, AP streams at a time not late for Europeans. That's fair. This is better. I feel like for a lot of people this scenario is better. Right now we have 12 viewers, which a lot of the time when I'll stream at like 10 at night here, which I think for Europeans is like super early in the morning. So I imagine it's bad for your situation. But hopefully this is better. I don't know how late this is for you guys. I imagine it's in the afternoon, maybe even night there. But hopefully this is better. I noticed on my YouTube analytics, this is a time that's like pretty peak for people. So hopefully this will help. Also, we have 9 viewers. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Richard, greetings. Richard said, greetings to AP and Tiffany. Greetings, Richard. A lot going on. I have missed you. I hope you're doing well. I know Tiffany misses you as well. We have been actively developing, actively growing, and trying to do more stuff. A lot still in the works. A lot I need to get back to you with. So I'm hoping to email you soon. Please look out for that. Let's see. Will Atkins says, greetings, Sovereign of Astovia here. Hey, Will, it's good to see you, and it's good to see Astovia here. Empire of Trudeau says, Europeans, my time has come. Absolutely. Fercall says, I'll send you photos of our farm. Please do. Aristoria says, we're starting to also make a hazmat suit. Oh, goodness, a hazmat suit? Please tell me how well that works. Please don't go near any dangerous, hazardous materials around with a homemade hazmat suit. That sounds dangerous. But let me know how it works. Charlotte Masterson says, Yuza, the nation I run, is working on a small tech cooperative. It will work on a Linux distribution. I use ArchBTW. Hey, very cool. I'm glad to see that. Please let me know how it goes, and I'm curious to see the development. As you know, Aeternia is a very technological nation. Specifically, we focus a lot on hardware, and we focus a lot on developing things, engineering things that will help us to promote our environmental impact. We're trying to reduce our carbon emissions and become carbon negative, be able to help promote the cause of reducing climate change. So that's something that we've been doing, and we've been adopting into a lot of our economic activities, like our forging, which is all electric. And so we are actively making money off of something that is assisting to fight climate change. So that's very, very cool, and I congratulate you on your technological progress. I can't wait to see it. Please let me know more about it. And if you haven't joined our Discord, please join our Discord and hit me up about it in our Discord. I would love to see that. Um, Ari says, I ate one of those DiGiorno mini pizzas. The crust was hard. Oh no, did you leave it in for too long? I love personally, I love the pineapple bacon pizzas. Not pineapple bacon. What am I talking about? I love oh gosh, what is it now? Barbecue chicken. That's what it is. At the grocery store that I go to, there is a barbecue chicken. Like, it's not DiGiorno, it's some other company. It's like California Pizza Kitchen or something. But it is a barbecue chicken pizza, and it's delicious. I know I'll get some judgment for it, but it's really good. And that's the primary one I get. I leave it. I think we cook it for like 17 minutes or something. Like, the pack says from like 15 to like 20 minutes, and then we put it on like 17 for kind of a round number and check it. So that works for us. It's all about the diligence. So I believe in you. I know next time it'll be great for you. Manu says Republica Yara being all Spanglish. Very true. But we respect it. We respect all these cultures out here. 27 Kyle says, to be honest, how would I rule a country? How I would rule a country is I would starve out the population and make them work just so that they can get food. And if they say something about my country, I will give them a holiday. That's interesting. So I think the issue with that, right, is that a lot of the time, the better a quality of life people have, the more efficient that they are. And that's something that we've seen time and time again with like technological progress. The reasons that nations compete to make better and better technologies and to have better and better quality of life for their people is because the nation that's the most well-educated, the most well-fed, the most economically wealthy, a lot of the time has the best economic chance of success amongst other nations. They are generally the most productive. They're the most, they are the most competitive in a worldwide economic marketplace. And that isn't always true. A country that is very wealthy can neglect their people, certainly. But those who are in the top echelon generally have a higher standard of living across the board than other nations. The U.S. is a weird example of that, though, because in the U.S. we do have a ton of people who the average is a fairly high standard of living, but then we have people who are mega wealthy and, billionaires, top 1%, and then you have people who are starving in the streets. So there's a large dichotomy with most nations across the world with that, but for the general consensus, the better well-fed your population. Also, it is located in the Balkans, to be precise, Serbia, town of Lisovac. Our goal Leskovac, excuse me. Our goal is to achieve peace between micronations. That's fantastic. One, can you describe what a golden age for Yara means? I'm curious about that. And as well, how is it being a Serbian micronation? Do you feel like there's anything unique that Serbian micronations bring to the table? Of course, culturally, but also potentially your community may be more accepting of it. Maybe it's harder for you to develop. Please let us know what being a Serbian micronation is like and how you've been introduced into the community. How you feel people have accepted Yara and what Yara has been doing in terms of its goals and trying to make peace with micronations. Anyone who's trying to go for peace between micronations is certainly a friend here because we have been trying to do the same thing for a long time. We're staunchly against micronational warfare and stuff like that. So if you have followed us for a while, you may know that. But if not, I want to tell you I am glad to see Yara doing well, and it's a very refreshing thing in the community. So thank you for being here. The Imperial Republic of North America says, AP, how do you go about Aeternian government? That's a great question. So we actually have a couple of videos on our government, and I would recommend that you go back and watch those. We have streams where we have actually done government meetings as the entire stream, and I recommend you check that out as well. But For the meantime, if you just want to know a little bit about our nation, a little bit about our government, I recommend you check out our website. Our website has our Guide to Foundation and Principles, which goes in depth on all of that and will give you an explanation, a written explanation of all of it. And then we also have a kind of bracket on our website as well that shows our current government. The way that our governmental system works right now is you have the emperor on top, and then you have houses. Houses represent different portions of Eternian life and things that are managed goals for us. So we have the two houses that have been developed in Eternia so far are the House of Treasure and the House of Others. The House of Treasure being specifically connected to economic activities, our treasury, for example, and the House of Others being connected to foreign diplomacy as well as our media coverage. So they represent the Empire of Aeternia to people not directly in the Empire of Aeternia. My job as the Emperor is to handle everything that scopes the Empire of Aeternia, but the two biggest things that I needed assistance with when our government was created was economics and media and marketing. And so those were the two ways that we developed, and they have proven very successful for us. The House of Treasure, still something ongoing, actively run. The House of Others is something that is still established in the Empire of Aeternia, but does not have a master as of right now. So the leader of a house is called the Master of the House, and we have the Master of the House of Treasure, which is Master Stephen Vince, still one of our biggest supporters by far, someone who has made Eternia what it is to a lot of extent. As you can see, the beautiful flag behind us was a present from Master Vince, as well as our seal, which is a huge part of Eternia that we have been introducing more recently. Again, if you want to know more about our government, I recommend you check out our website, check out our Guide to Foundation and Principles, and always you can DM me on Discord to ask specifics, but we do have videos on that. So scroll through our videos, go and check those out, and let us know what you think. I need to create a playlist specifically about our government, and I will do that. But in the meantime, scroll through, go and find some you like. Type in, the Empire of Aeternia government or something, and I'm sure some stuff will come up. Okay. Procol says, we count towns, anything below 5 kilometers away and anything other we count as colonies. Interesting. Aristoria says, Will Akins, it names. Also, Atkins, there are worse names in the Micronation than used to. What? I'm very confused. Esnia says, in the future we hope to get the whole island, which is called Tabarca. It is in Spain. Ooh, that's cool. So you're hoping to purchase an island as your way of developing Esnia. That's interesting. Do you think you'll be primarily focused on fishing and things like that? With you going agricultural, it seems interesting to purchase an island which would have limited agricultural space. But I'm curious to see how your plan accounts for that. We have Legend jumping in. We have Kingdom of Prakal. We have Arcovia. Fantastic. Esnia said in the future we hope to get, Prakal said 13 watchers, now 23 likes. Hey, I agree. 14 viewers now. Thank you guys again, and it means a lot for the likes. Kingdom of Arcovia, thank you so much for joining us. Again, one of the nations that we have been talking to is King Carmente and the Kingdom of Arcovia, and I am super excited about that. Again, I don't want to release too much information. I plan a whole video for that, but I have sent King Carmente something very recently that we will be developing further. And I hope you got my message, King Carmente. I hope you're doing well today. I hope the King and Queen are doing well. I hope your lands are doing well. And I am excited to continue our progress. I have some ideas of things that I want to talk to you about in the near future as well. I am gearing up for some of our plans. I've been looking into some of the things that we've been talking about developing. And as well, I am trying to plan stuff, hopefully for the spring and summer, to get started in a really, really rapid way. So the next couple months, hopefully things will start chugging along to develop between us, going over initial things. And then, starting spring will be big, full gear ramping up on a lot of stuff. So I am excited, and I can't wait for that. Ooh, Richard says, AP, you're slacking. Again, my name hasn't been changed on the Eternian website. Also, I'm ordering Eternian notes at the end of the month. 100 Eternian notes. Goal will be achieved. Hey, congratulations, Richard. Also, you are right. I am slacking. That is something that is completely my fault. I have passed it up a number of times on the website, and I don't know why I haven't changed that. That just honestly is a fault of mine. I haven't changed it. You deserve for that to be changed, and I will remember that after the stream. I will in fact get to that as soon as possible. Let me see if I can do something about that now. But in addition, out on this, Prakal says, I'm going to print mine using a website named Bus Banners. Oh, interesting. Buzz Banners, I think. Very cool. Again, a lot of nations want to purchase flags. I know a lot of flags are expensive. You either get a low quality flag or you get an expensive flag, and that's been hard for us. Our flag, again, was a gift, but it was expensive. It was something that I didn't want to put the money into right away. And so we were even making, like, hand sewing our own flag, which is something that you can still see in the back of our set for most of my live streams because of that. That's something that Tiffany was helping to make that I hope we still eventually finish. But now that we have this beautiful flag to display in our primary living space, it's super nice. So it's a super awesome gift, but it's something that we wouldn't have spent the money on ourselves, at least right now. Let's see. Esnia says, no, we're going to try and get it as a gift from Spain by helping Spain. Ooh, so I know Spain already has territories that are like actively trying to gain independence, and they won't even recognize them. So I think it would be really hard to get an island gifted from Spain. Very well may happen. Crazier things in the world have happened, but I think most nations around the world are very hesitant to give up any of their land. That's why Eternia's specific goals are not to try to take over land that is already claimed by other nations, but in fact to make our own land and to seek out land that is not claimed by anyone. That's very rare on the Earth, but we hope to seek that out externally to the Earth when we can. But for a much shorter time period, we are hoping to develop things like seasteading opportunities, which again, far in the future, but those are ways that we are achieving our own independent land, rather than the goal of trying to take it from another nation. Let me go ahead and jump onto edit site. Let me check to make sure that I haven't gotten a message from any of the people who are coming over. Okay. Trudeau says, the Imperial Republic of North America, there are a lot of printing companies online. There sure are. Millionth Hawk said, hey, AP, other than Eternia, what is your favorite Micronation? That's hard. And I don't know that I can even answer that. Eternia all the way. You don't even doubt. Eternia all the way. Choosing another one, though, I think is hard because I haven't had enough exposure to other nations. I know some about other nations, but I feel like if I were going to give that a legitimate answer, I would have wanted to have been a part of another nation as a citizen, because it's hard to tell from the outside of a nation what that nation is actually like, what day-to-day living in it is. So I couldn't tell you. I like a lot of nations, especially the nations that we're talking to. I like Parkistopia, I like Arcovia, I like Stemeria. There are a lot of nations that I like. I like Molossia, but all of them are very different. They're all doing very different things, and I don't know what day-to-day life is like in any of these nations. So that's hard, but I definitely respect the question, and I hope one day I can answer that more accurately. Legend says, Emperor AP, who is the head of your science department? Again, so the three branches of our government right now that we have, and branches is used loosely in quotations because they're more like tiers. The two tiers that we have are the emperorship and the houses. And again, we don't have a science department. We have just ourselves. So we have the emperorship, which is myself, and then we have the House of Treasure and the House of Others. House of Treasure handles economics, House of Others handles our media and our marketing and our relation to other nations. So, that being the case, by definition, since I am over everything, I am over our science department, or anything we do scientifically. But that's also because of my background in a STEM field, and also with my own interest, my own personal development and excitement about developing scientific technological progress. So, I am not only because I'm the emperor over our scientific endeavors, but also because I am the only resident scientist in Eternia. It is me who oversees all of those projects and actually hands-on develops all of those projects. Hopefully that will change pretty quickly. I would love to get some STEM folks into the Empire of Aeternia and develop that more eagerly, but for the time being, it is me, myself, and I. Okay. Um, Greenistan says, "Hey AP, how have you been since the last time we saw you? Good, but busy." That's what this update stream is on. I'm glad you all are doing well. It's good to see some fresh faces here, and it's also good to see some returning faces, like we're seeing with you, Greenistan. How have you been? How have things been going? Again, I got sick. That was an issue. We've been developing with a lot of nations, and we're developing our economic activity. So a lot's been happening. I've been behind the scenes for most of it, but we've been doing good. Arcovia said, "Thank you, Emperor AP. We're looking forward. I have replied in Discord." I am glad to hear that. I know that there's a lot that we are looking forward to personally, and it's taken some time. Just trying to get things right in any trade talks with another micronation are difficult. Even if those micronations, are the best of friends and they know what they want to do and they know how they want to go about it, having the proper discussions about it, taking the time to do it right is hard. And so we want to make sure that that's done right, and we want to treat that with the proper respect for the people of Arcovia so that they get the best out of it that they can. And I am proud that we have been able to do that. It feels like an accomplishment for the Empire of Aeternia, just that we have been able to come to a reasonable and legitimate agreement with the people of Arcovia. And again, that's something that I want to talk about more in the future, but we have made a lot of progress in that regard. Also, Richard, please go and check out the website. We have updated it finally, and thank you so much for being patient with that. That has been a severe slack of mine. Every time I go on the website, I have felt regretful for having not changed that, and with you pointing it out today, I feel like that could not stand any longer. Thank you again. Thank you very much for being understanding and patient with that, because it's not acceptable, and I'm glad that we were able to change that for you today. If there's anything else I can do for you, please let me know. There's still some stuff that I know you're again patiently waiting on, that we are actively in the works for, but I have been, as you said, slacking. Again, 14 viewers. I appreciate that. Hold up. Richard brought up something, and I'm jumping past comments, but I'll read Francisco's comment, but I want to jump into Richard's real quick. Francisco says, "Again, Yara is in a golden age. It's on the Balkan Peninsula, to be precise, Serbia. Let's go back. We are making most effective treatment for Ebola." I hope that your progress continues. Good luck. Ebola is a scary disease, and I wish you well. Please let us know how it goes. Richard says, "On a personal note, my depression has eased off for 10 days now, and I'm feeling a lot happier." That's amazing, Richard. Congratulations. I knew that you had some personal struggles. Everyone has things in their personal life that they deal with, but I believe you had told me a bit before about having depression. One, I am glad that your depression is feeling better. I know it's not something that ever, 100% goes away. It's something that people carry with them. But I am glad that you have felt some ease and felt some comfort. I think that's, simple enough to ask for, but harder to actually achieve in practice, harder to have come about in practice. So I'm glad you're doing okay. Please keep me updated. Please message me. I have been bad about messaging you back. And again, Richard is our top aristocrat in the Empire of Aeternia. Richard is one of our closest citizens to us, and I have not made the proper efforts and proper connection to reach out and do the things that I should. So, Richard, my personal apologies for not having been there for you during that time, especially if your depression has peaked in recent months. I hope that you are okay. I hope that your family's okay. I hope that the people that you care for and take care of, your mother, your child, are okay and doing well. I know that regardless of my lack of communication, I have been thinking about you. Tiffany's been thinking about you, and we've been wishing you the best. The thing that's difficult about being an Aeternian is that even though we all believe the same things, even though we all stand up and say Aeternia forever, we are all ultimately separated by some distance on the earth. We're all separated by our own busy lives and what we have to do day to day. Regardless of that, I feel it's important for us to show each other our affection and our care for each other. And I want you to know, Richard, that I do care for you. And I appreciate that you are here with us today and every day. Even if you can't be here on the streams, I appreciate that you are around. I appreciate knowing that you are out there in the world. I appreciate seeing your support. And I appreciate knowing that there's someone else who has the same cultural viewpoint as me, that calls themselves an Aeternian. And someone out there who has had such a lived experience, who has gone through so much in their life, and who is able to, despite combating depression, despite combating their own day-to-day struggles, can still be here and can still say that they support us and can still show us support when we need it. You have always been there for us, and you more than deserve our support back. So again, Richard, if there's anything I can do for you personally, please let me know. Reach out anytime you want to. Again, I know I'm bad on being a friend on the other end of that, but I want you to know that I'm thinking about you, and I want you to know that Aeternia cares about you, that we have always been in your corner, supporting you and hoping the best for you. Goodness. Let me get back to reading some comments. Aristorius says, question, do you check the Alliance's responses, and when do you check it? Aristoria is really interested in personally getting an alliance with Aeternia. I am sorry for that. Again, as brought up, that is one of the things I've been slacking on. To give an excuse, but not an excuse, our government is significantly smaller now. I'm pretty much doing things by myself now, so a lot of the projects that we started with the plan of having, a 5 or 6 person group by this point, that's now dropped back down to essentially one, has been difficult. So I am still trying to keep up with all of our progress and all of our promises that we've made to people, and I'm trying to fulfill things. It's just extended out the timeline from when I can get to things by an incredible amount. It's not efficient, it's not a good look for us, but it is something that we're moving forward with. We are going to be checking, that being said, we are going to be checking the alliance requests. I have gone through and done a few this year, not actually approved those alliances, but gone through and reached out and started talking to people. If you haven't received anything from us, please, again, specifically DM me. If you DM me and you say, hey, I'm looking for my alliance request, it will, push me, it'll give me a kick to start working on yours specifically. A lot of the time we will email people and reach out and they'll never get back to us. So check the email, just in case, check the email that you attached to your application and let us know if we have reached out to you. If we haven't, email us, not email us. If we haven't, DM me on Discord. You can email us as well. Either one, is an effective way to reach out. But reach out, let us know, hey, we still haven't been contacted, and I to specifically go look through for yours, answer that, and send you at least a start for discussions on that. That's a lot of the time what we are trying to do, is to get back to people and just reach out. Again, it's hard when people don't email back, so to know which one you are and to make sure that we get your application submitted to you as quickly as possible. You've already reached out through this, so I've got Aristoria in my mind now. But please remind me again, and I will make a concerted effort to do that when I have free time. To reach out for yours specifically. Um. Ooh, jumping back. Okay. Francisco says, yes, California and Basque are our biggest problems. Interesting. Please let me know about that. How has that been going? Catalonia and Basque are our biggest problems. Makes sense. Also, I believe Ryan is here. So I'm probably going to have to go in just 1 second. Let me answer the door, and I will be back. I have it angled down because I was sitting in a chair, but here's the stream if you want to say hi to the stream.
Hi, stream.
Hey, that was Ryan saying hi to the stream in a small whisper. It was good to see everybody. I appreciate you guys. I know there's still a number of comments that I need to get to, but I will get to them in another video at some point. I may do like a reaction to my live stream thing where I go through and read the rest of these comments. But I appreciate you guys. Again, Aristoria, please reach out to me for that alliance request. Richard, I want to reach out to you. I miss you and I want to talk to you. It's good to see you. And for everybody else, thank you so much for participating. Thank you to all you newcomers, and I will see you soon. Peace, everybody. Ooh, Richard said, AP, next time you guys visit North Carolina, come up to Virginia. I'd love to meet you, Tiffany, and other Aeternians in person. Agreed. I would like that as well, Richard. I don't know the next time we'll be going to North Carolina. I have been trying to reach out to Steve in the last like month, and I haven't heard from him very much. But we do want to go visit North Carolina again soon. If we do that, yes, we will absolutely make a planned part of our trip going to Virginia to come and meet you. If we don't get to go to North Carolina soon, we may just plan a direct trip to Virginia to come see you specifically. So please let us know, when you would be available for that. Again, I'm going to try and reach out to you by email pretty quickly, but I will see you soon, and we will figure that out.